Thank you very much, Mr. Liu, and to all our witnesses. On to Mr. Lewis for 6 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you to all the witnesses. Very in-depth testimony today, and we have a lot of work to do, no doubt. Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Liu, and Madam Chair, just so you know, all of my questions will be directed to Mr. Liu. I guess the first one I would go on with this, probably the most important one, at least for my riding of Essex, with regard to microchips, sir. And I do believe it to be true that Taiwan is the largest producer of microchips in the world. And man, oh man, could we ever use a bunch of microchips to get our vehicles on a road. I'm wondering what can we do? What studies should we be going after? What can we do as a country? Perhaps it's the critical minerals that you were speaking to. How can Canada help Taiwan so that we can get those very, very necessary microchips to our foreign soil, so that we can keep our auto industry moving?
Thank you for the questions. I think this is a very important question, especially when Canada is going forward to its EV industry, electrical vehicles. There will be more microchips in your cars, so which means that the demands of the microchips will keep on going. But Taiwan can also, in the same time, the supply chain of microchip is very long and complicated. So I would say that there's a lot of opportunity for Taiwan and Canada to work together. For example, if we have the largest company from Taiwan, TSMC, already has design centers in Canada. And that's in addition to the US, this is the only one in America continents. I have visited the research center and asked the same question like you, and I was told that first, I think there's a lot of mutual support that Canada and Taiwan can have, because, for example, I think when we are moving into the next stage, you want to incorporate more technology into the microchips. So there will be multitask. For example, Canada is very good in AI, but how do you incorporate AI into the chips? That would be very important. That would be the determining factors of your competitiveness. So in this case, I would say that the software engineers should work directly with the Taiwanese chip makers. In this way, there's no need to go through very complicated different layers of suppliers. In that case, you can have your design already embedded in these microchips, which means that Taiwan can provide the microchips, which is really reflecting the Canadian technology and making sure you have the leading edge. Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. Madam Chair, through you, back to the same witness, please. So when we talk about containers, I understand it also to be true that Taiwan is one of the biggest suppliers of containers. And so we can have all the microchips in the world, but if we can't get them across our oceans back to Canada, it's not going to do us a whole lot of good. So I only make that as a statement because I realize there's a major shortage of containers across the world, something that I would have never thought I would have seen in my lifetime. Madam Chair, through you to the witness, please. I understand also that the paperwork and administration, red tape, the challenges that are slowing the supply chain between Taiwan and Canada. Can you please expand on that, sir?
Right. First, I still want to reply the question on container, because as far as I know, there's no container shipments of microchips. Microchip has to be using the air freight. So that's why I think during this pandemic, I think Taiwan is really doing good. Even in the year 2020, we still have continued economic growth. So because of we have still keep this air freight going smoothly. And regarding to the supply chain bottleneck, I think even though we do have a very strong sea transportation capability, but the problems happens in the destination. So that's the thing that we cannot do very much. I hope that we have receiving a request from our colleagues on how to improve this phenomenon. But I would say that we can only watch how our trading partner can solve their problems. But in the meantime, I do encourage that Canadian could engage in more discussions on the paperless trading or on the custom cooperation so that we can really to go on to the next levels to make sure we can reduce the bureaucracy, as you mentioned, for the traders, which is really important. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Madam Chair, back through you to the witness, and if you'll just keep it within about 1 minute, please, sir. I have 2 more questions left, both important questions. The first one is, so as China continues to flex its muscle in Taiwan, and let's call a spade a spade. It's happening. What can Canada do to help?
In my statements, I already say that I think Canada is a country that should be friends for everybody, but you should stand also on the side of the rightness, which means that I think there should be no hesitation to engage Taiwan economically, for example, on the FIPA or on the CPTPP. I think this is the way that Canada should act as a model that to support the high levels of trade liberalizations and encourage Taiwan to be a part of those agreements. So I think this will be the best way that to show that Canada has its core values in its trade policy.
Thank you very much, and I know I've only got about 30 seconds left. Very, very quickly, Madam Chair. Through you back to the witness. So I just want to make a statement that I do understand to be very true, that Canada is only about 1% of Taiwan's global trade, and so with Taiwan being a partner in CPTPP, it's a mouthful. What percentage do you think that could grow by, sir?
Well,
thank you, Madam Chair.
That's a very big ask, but let me take examples of New Zealand. When we have the first free trade agreements, we have the agreement with a country which export a lot of agricultural products. But still, so I think the negotiating outcome is that Taiwan liberalized the markets of 99.5%, which means that there's a lot of sensitive products that we have liberalized the trade. For example, like deer veve, maybe you don't know the product very well, that we do use that products, and the tariff rate is more than 1,000%. And in fact, we are going to liberalize that products just in the recent years. So totally no tariff. So, but this means that our determination to go for a free trade country, because we do think this is a long-term benefits of Taiwan and our trading partners. Thank you.